cheer. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Shea Stadium. The big story. Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets Hit Rob, and happy Cinco de Mayo right here on the channel. Mets come back home to face the Colorado Rockies in a 3-game series. And boy, oh boy, what the last couple of days have been for our New York Mets. Not only have they lost 9 of 11, they got swept by the lowly Detroit Tigers that prior to playing the Mets only had 10 wins. And that is something that shouldn't have happened. It is inexcusable, but we are 33 games into the season, right? Can't overreact, can't go crazy, but it is frustrating to know that the lifeless games they played over the last week and a half, and especially the Detroit series. You can't get swept by a team like that. Again, it is baseball. Things happen. You had a Detroit Tigers team that, hasn't hit home runs this season yet, hit home runs in that 3-game series. So, again, you got to pitch better. It's basically exactly what's the problem with the Mets. We can talk about the lineup all we want. But again, we keep on, banging the same drum. The lineup is not as bad as everybody thinks. Again, you look at individual statistics, yes. But runs per game, and I don't care how skewed they might be and how you get those runs, the runs are around 4.5 to 5 runs per game. It went down a little bit over the last week, but it's still over 4.5 runs per game. And that should be enough to win ball games. Again, when you have a pitching staff that is giving up around 6 runs per game, there's a little margin for error to win or lose a ball game. And it's that slim at the moment. And that is the reason why the Mets are losing. It's all about the pitching. Yesterday, no, Verlander pitched well. The bullpen came in, pitched well. The offense didn't show up. The lineup's a little bit different. I think some people will be happy with that somewhat until you look at the bottom of the lineup. But guess what? 33 games into the season, the Mets are still as bad as it's been this season with injuries and not playing well, and the second sweep of the year against the Mets with the Tigers and the Brewers. The Mets are at 500, and it should be a lot worse, to be honest with you guys, right? The way we've been playing, all the injuries, we should be a lot worse. And it's for a team like the Phillies, who are 2 games under 500. And yesterday I went over it when it came to the records in the National League, why nobody should just start panicking or giving up on a team that now you've seen what happens in baseball now with the new playoff brackets and the way it works and how many playoff teams make the playoffs. It's not always about winning your division. Obviously, that's obviously clear. Again, you want to win your division, but you also have to understand that getting into the playoffs nowadays in baseball is very similar to the NHL playoffs. Get into the playoffs and anything can happen. And that's something that we have to focus on as well. Again, it doesn't matter about the record because at the end of the year, if it takes only 85 wins to get into the third wild card spot, you're in the playoffs. When you play anybody in the playoffs, your record is 0-0. And that is the only thing that you can look at when it comes to it, because when you look at it, the only two teams that got to the National League Championship Series were the second and third wild card team, right? No matter how you situate it, if you want to break down the teams from last year, the Padres weren't very good the entire season. The same thing goes for the Phillies. They had one of the worst defensive metrics and one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball, yet they made the World Series. So until we look at it in a way where if you're worried about how many wins we're going to have, I think you have to be focused on the fact that looking at where you have to be to make the playoffs. Again, if it's a division win, fine. I mean, in 2015, the Mets won 90 games and won the division, right? What was it, 2 years ago? How many wins did the Braves had? I think 91 when they won the World Series. So it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is making the playoffs. Again, everybody wants to avoid a wild card series because there's a possibility of you being ousted in the wild card. But again, getting in is the most important thing. That's what a lot of people don't realize, right? Look at the NHL playoffs. This is the way that the Major League Baseball is trying to replicate. They're trying to replicate parity when it comes to the playoffs, not the regular season, because there's not a lot of parity in the regular season. But when you get to the playoffs, a team can get hot, and it could be one of the worst teams, which the team in our own division actually made the World Series by having one of the worst records in the playoffs. And on top of this, I don't know if people have been paying attention, but a lot of people has bringing up the Nationals in 2019, the Mets of 2015, the Braves of 2021, and the Phillies in 2022. All of those teams had either similar or worse records than the Mets at this point. And most of them were worse or at 500 by the trade deadline. Yet they either won the World Series or got to a World Series. I'm not saying it's going to be, similar, but it's a trend. And again, people want to look at history only when it suits them. When it doesn't benefit their team, people want to look at history. Well, this team and that team, look at that team. It really doesn't matter. But when you want to bring up that this team is not good enough, where in Major League Baseball is there, the freaking Bible or whatever religious Bible you want, or religious book you want to look at, and it says this is how you win a World Series? Because last time I checked, there was one team that had the most strikeouts in Major League Baseball in 2021 that struck out a ton that won the World Series in the Atlanta Braves. The 2019 Nationals, right? Their lineup was mostly guys who hit a lot of home runs, and that's all they really did. They won a World Series. Last year, what did the Phillies do well, right? They had a similar lineup basically all year that if they didn't hit home runs, they did not win, right? Their bullpen was terrible and their defense was terrible. What happened in the playoffs that changed everything? They hit a lot of home runs and their bullpen got a little bit better. And that's how they went on that run. But as soon as they got to the World Series and they stopped hitting home runs, they were the exact team that they were during the season. They started to make bad defensive plays. They never got on base. All the solo home runs they hit in the playoffs, they hit a ton of them, but there were a lot of solo home runs. They went back to the original part of what they were. Again, listen, I take the Phillies run anytime, any day of the week, but we also have to look at the same way, we can't just look at it as, 33 games of the season, this team don't look good. Well, look at the last 3 out of the last 4 World Series teams, or 4 out of the last 5 World Series, either winners or teams that made the World Series. And look where they were at this point, or in about 2 months from now. That's what you have to look at. And I think too many people focus on the wrong things, and then you get frustrated, and that's understandable. But you also have to understand the fact that, well, JL, because the Braves and the Rays, yeah, they look really good right now. But when was the last time the two best teams in the National League and the American League actually made the World Series, right? I mean, can anybody remember that? Like, when was the last time the best team in the National League faced the best team in the American League? It's probably not going to happen. So that's usually what doesn't happen. So, again, it can happen. And again, then when people, that's the way it just goes. Yeah, Jay, that's true. But you know what? If the Mets were had a really good April and started off good in May, nobody would be complaining. You can't have it both ways, right? Everybody was bitching and moaning about September. Oh, they should have played worse in April and then play better in September. Well, no, that does not make sense because those losses don't turn into wins in September because them same April losses could hurt you in September. That's why when people are like, oh, the Mets should have played a little bit worse in April last year and played better in September. Well, okay, so take away 5 more losses, put 5 more losses in the April column and give 5 more wins in the September column, and you still have the same record. So it really doesn't matter. A win is a win no matter if it's April or September. It adds up the same way, right? Just because April could be a bad month does not mean that September should be a better month, right? It doesn't really work like that. No, I get it, Jay. I get what you're saying, but the whole point is the fact that we're too focused on, oh, you got to be good in September. Listen, I'd rather go in hot into the playoffs than cold like the Mets did, and it kind of hurt them, obviously. But that is not the end-all, be-all, right? I mean, just because it seems like it's a trend. Get hot at the right time in September and ride it into the playoffs. That seems like it's been the trend almost 5 out of the 5 or 6 years. So that's something I agree with. I'd rather play a lot better in September, or at least at the end of September, going in hot and getting that confidence into the playoffs. So let me get the lineups up for the Mets. There we go. Just give me a second. Let me just share it for a second. And we'll get the lineups and we'll get game day up because the game's going to start in about 9 minutes or so. All right, guys, just give me a second. It'll pop up in just a second. There we go. All righty, guys. So we're going to have the Mets lineup tonight. The Mets lineup is on the right of your screen. Brendan Nemo leading off, playing center field. Starlin Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor, shortstop, batting third. Cleaning up, Pete Alonso playing first base. Jeff McNeil playing second base, batting fifth. Brett Beatty, first time this year, batting sixth at third base. I love to see that. Tommy Pham playing left field, batting seventh. Daniel Vogelbach, DH, and batting eighth. And Tomas Nido catching, batting ninth. This is where Pham, Vogelbach, and Nido, if they're ever in the lineup, that's where they need to be. 7 through 9. Nowhere near 6 through 1. They need to be 7 through 9. And your first 6 batters, I love it. Right? Again, Pham is playing. You want to give Canada a day off? All right, fine. Vogelbach has been pretty good this year, pretty good average-wise, so I have no problem with him. People are complaining about Nido and not Alvarez. Nido has basically been the personal catcher for Senga. I don't think Buck right now wants to put Alvarez in a position to try to catch that forkball. And if you notice, he throws a lot of – the balls move around everywhere with Senga. And I think Senga feels comfortable with Nido, and I think Nido is comfortable catching Senga. And I don't think you want to put Alvarez – not yet – in the lineup or catching behind the plate with Senga right now. Again, at some point it probably will happen, but especially when we're on the strike, we're on a 9 out of 11 losing of games. I think we need to be a little bit more safer when it comes to this because Senga hasn't pitched in 8 days. I want to see length from him. I don't want to hear about pitch count. This guy needs to throw 90 to 95 pitches, maybe even close to 100. Give me 6 innings today and 2 runs. I'll take that. And it is Friday night at Citifield, so it's Blackout Friday. Mets are wearing their black uniforms. So we are going to get started very, very, very shortly. And we will make sure that I will put up the game day and, of course, the audio as well. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We got Mets Rockies game 1 at Citifield. And once again, guys, if you didn't know already, there is channel logo pins that are available for $10. Again, once again, got a lot of them. So if you want them, You can PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. It doesn't matter. I know some people says I'll see you at Citifield. If you can bring some, I'll buy some. So that would be another option if you guys go to Citifield as well. But make sure when you send the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App that you put a message giving me at least your email so I can get your information so I can mail them to you. And we'll go from there. So get your channel logo pins while they're hot. All right, guys. So once again, today, as I said yesterday after the game, today, game 33 of the season is a must win. G-Men, it is the same thing as the Venmo, Rob L813. So as I said yesterday, today is a must win. Game 33 is a must win. I know some people said yesterday was a must win, and I'm not going to argue that, but I do think today's a must win. You're back home after a 9 out of 11, 9 losses out of 11 games, and you got swept by the Detroit Tigers. Has to happen. Sorry, guys. And today is a must win. Today is a day where the fans will be against you. When they get called out onto the field, here your 2023 New York Mets, they're getting booed. So there is a lot of tension at Citi Field with the fans. Everything that is, walking the ballpark, striking out, not getting runners in from scoring position, that is going to piss off fans. So the fans are going to be against you right now, and they have every right to be against them right now. So that's what they're going to do at the moment, but get the fans back on your side. Score early, right? Let Senga get out of the first inning early. Get our at-bats there. We got to score runs first. Let's get on the board first. We're struggling every game getting from behind early. 23 out of the first 33 games of the year, the Mets have trailed from the fourth inning or earlier. That's the problem. And that's where we are right now. Get ahead. When the Mets get ahead, get a lead, they usually win. And that's been a trend. And we'll see what happens, but they better, like I said, they better play mad but smart. They better be focused today. I want to see pristine defense. I want to see better at-bats. I want to see everything. I want to see Senga go out there and not throw 30 pitches an inning, right? We need length from him. Jada, last time he scored in the first inning, I think it was it the first game of the I think it was the first game against Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. But, that didn't really help a lot. Yeah, and again, we all know that we all saw today that Matt Harvey officially retired, wrote a nice little thing towards Met fans. And it's so sad because he could have been great, right? Even with the Tommy John, he was definitely still dominant after he came back from that. But, the thoracic outlet syndrome, that really derailed him very much, and that's a hard thing to come back from as a pitcher, or at least the same pitcher. And then he floated around, Angels, Orioles, and all that crazy stuff. And you know what? It sucks because he was a phenom in New York shortly, when everything turned in like 2017, 2018. But 2012 when he came up, 2013 when he made the All-Star team, pitched in the All-Star game. We all know about 2015 and the World Series. Again, a lot of people say, listen, everybody wanted Matt Harvey to come back out in the ninth inning, right? Everybody was pumped up when he did. It didn't work out. It happens. It sucks. But you wanted your best pitcher on the mound. And Matt Harvey was your best pitcher. And the way Jerry's Familia was pitching in that World Series, how much did we really trust him? So I don't see the point of anybody talking about that. But wanting your pitcher to go out there in the ninth inning to try to keep us alive in the World Series, that was exactly what I would like to see. So Senga is walking from the bullpen. It's it's probably going to start a little bit later, but we'll see. But again, once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. We got about 40 in the stream right now. Expecting about 100 today, so that's a good sign. Once again, guys, channel logo pins for sale, $10. Again, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. If you need my PayPal, it's just my email address. I'll give you that in a second. A lot of people don't ask for the PayPal. It's usually Cash App, Venmo. So it's the same thing, RobL813, and you can send that. And please leave the message, either your email or what your phone number, whatever it is that I can know who you are, one, and I can get your information so I can send you the pins. So once again, don't forget, they are for sale and they will be for sale until they're sold out. So thank you for people who already bought them. There was about 5 or 6 people that already bought them. I already sent them. It was the first inning against the Braves? Okay. So it was what, 4 games ago? 5 games ago? Okay. Actually, is that true? Well, it was the Monday, right? When the Braves took an early lead, the doubleheader, right? That was the last time they scored in the first inning. Again, I don't think it's all about just scoring in the first inning. I mean, it would be nice. That would help. But let's just score. Let's just get ahead early. Like, I mean, it's hard enough to score runs at this moment with the Mets struggling, right? But get it done. Let's get a lead. Let's let an offense not have to worry about coming back every single game, and that's been a big problem this year. Yeah, JL, and people forget that. Like that game where the Braves went up 6-1, the Mets almost came back in the game. If the Mets pitched a little bit better, just a little bit, just a tad, the Mets probably would have won that game. So it's unfortunate. It sucks, but it is what it is. You got to worry about the Rockies now, and today's a must-win. Here we go, guys. Mets, Rockies at Citifield. Game 1 of the series. We're going to put up game day just now, and we'll get started, Mets and Rockies. So here we go, guys. Listen up. Let me know in the comments if you can hear it, guys.
Charlie Blackmon, now 36 years old, 13th year with the Rockies. Just in the second place, the all-time Colorado runs scored list, 890.
Sorry, guys, a little bit of trouble.
Only to Todd Helton. Senga's first pitch of the night is a fastball in for a strike. And
there we go. All right.
Todd Helton about 500 away. Yeah, boy. It's going to be second to Helton in a lot of respects. Blackmon took 40 leadoff home runs in his career. Pulls this from the
ground ball, good start. 1 out. There we go.
Blackmon to the bag, and that's the first out of the night.
Well, the defense for the Mets in this evening's ball game, you'll see Tomas Nido back behind the plate. He's really been kind of the personal catcher for Senga, Beatty, Lindor, McNeil, and Alonso, who just made that play down the line. And out in the outfield, surprise start for left field for Tommy Pham against the right-handed pitcher. Nemo in center and Starling, Marte in right.
Here's Jurickson Profar, who tore up the Mets as a member of the Padres last year, and he takes one inside off the bat. That's a foul ball, 0-1. Profar was a late signee. He was out of the free agent market until the last week in March, when he finally signed up with Colorado. Last year, hit .364 against the Mets. Shooter is late on the 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Senga. And it's
all right, throwing strikes early.
Senga's last outing against Washington, he was in trouble the entire game. Worked 5 innings, allowed 5 hits and 4 walks, but only 2 runs. Struck out 7 in that game. Profar goes off a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. That's the hardest pitch Senga's thrown this year.
Already, Senga early in this game being much more aggressive. 3 straight fastballs there at Profar.
Chris Bryant waits on deck. Profar, better right-hand hitter than left. Batting to the left side, and he takes the first splitter in the dirt, 1-2. So that's Senga, 30 years old. Won his first 3 starts for the Mets. He's taken no decision on the loss in the last 2. And a swing and a miss.
There you go. Good job.
Senga's got a strikeout, his first of the night.
So most right-handers who have a forkball, the tendency is for that ball to dart from the middle of the plate away. And you can see the grip. He can throw one that darts down and in to the left-handers. That's a very unusual movement on that pitch. Comes right off that middle finger, and no chance for Profar.
Now Chris Bryant, batting third in the order. Bryant, who signed the massive deal with the Rockies before last season, 7 years, $182 million, was limited to 42 games in his first season. because of back and foot problems. Good fork ball by Senga, and he gets in at 1-1. Right now, 31 years old, former Rookie of the Year and MVP with the Cubs. Slider off the plate, 2-1. Rookie of the Year at 15, and then in his second season, he was the most.
I already plan on it, Scully.
The Cubs went from there to the Giants before signing with the Rockies. Fastball away.
So if you notice with Senga right now, he is kind of throwing a little bit more fastballs than usual, which is nice to see. He's got a hard one.
None of these players have seen it.
And he walks Bryant.
Bryant draws a 2-out walk. 19 walks in 27 innings for Senga. So the first base runner of the night is Bryant. And now C.J. Crone, who also tore up the Mets last year in his first year in Colorado.
All right, here we go.
423 against Met pitching last year. He was an all-star for the first time last year at 29 home runs. Takes one first.
All right, getting that outside corner. That's nice.
Made the all-star team, and then things got fell apart for him in the second half. First round pick of the Angels, now in his third year with Colorado. And he takes that slider outside. It's 1-1.
He's got incredible power from
What's up, Joe?
foul pole, straight up and down, complete open stance. No one has a more relaxed stance. And he kind of dives into that ball. Hard to believe that he can still manage to touch that ball in the outside corner.
That'll be Roche from the other side of
There
the
you
plate.
go. Good call.
Stand with those feet close together. Calm from the left side. This is just away. So Senga keep the ball away from these right-hand hitters, Bryant and Crone. Walk Bryant, now he's behind 3-1 on Crone.
You can see by the body language of Senga that he believes those balls are strikes, but they're off the plate a good bit.
Elias Diaz has been the hottest hitter for Colorado on deck. And
come
now
on.
back-to-back walks issued by Senga will bring Diaz to the plate with two men on. The Rockies are used to having big offensive numbers and poor pitching. Well, so far this year, the offense has not been there. They're 13th in the National
Hey, Ron,
League
how you
in
doing?
runs scored. But they're coming off their best stretch of the season. In fact, they had not swept a series in their last 37 series dating back to June of last year before they swept a very good Milwaukee team the last 3 days. Here's Elias Diaz off to the best start by far of his big league career. And the Rockies catcher takes it wide for ball one. Diaz fourth in the National League with that .337 average. Last year he had .228.
Yes, it does, JL. It is, but we can always turn it around.
The Rockies with a first inning chance with a couple of two-out walks. And that's line
All right, got out of the inning.
That retires the
Hard hit ball right to Jeff McNeil. So saying it's out of the first inning. Mets are coming up. Mets didn't give up a run in the first. Yes. Success. Good start. Let's see if we can get on the board. That would be nice. That would be very nice. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Once again, channel logo pins are for sale. So I did get a couple of people already sending it. So send in the money, and I make sure you thoughts on the 7-Line new podcast partner. The new podcast partner, Julia, she's cool. I've known, I've met her. She's cool. Nothing wrong with her. But yeah, like I said, I know Darren. I talk to him a lot all the time I see him. They're having an outing tomorrow. I might go to the game. I might not. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. Because there's a 1 o'clock game. I'll probably either go right from work or come back and go to work. We'll see. Yeah, he's definitely settled in. Eric, how you doing? Yeah, he's definitely settled in. You got to remember, guys, this is a huge transition, And, if you look at Ohtani and Darvish numbers, guys that I'm going to, I don't think anybody thought he was going to be better or at the same as Darvish and Ohtani. He was never hyped up like that. But you got to remember, they didn't start off very well either when they first came to Major League Baseball. So we have to wait and see. Oh, they did anti. I didn't know that. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the first, no score. They're talking to Brandon Nemo about the stolen base attempt yesterday.
Because the 1-5-5, anything over 1-5 gives these guys the ability to think that they can run because it's almost automatic. But when it's not automatic, there's certain times that you can't do things because if that one time it doesn't happen, it's a bad play. And that's why it came back to haunt Brandon. So I understand what he was thinking. But in that instance, you have to allow Marte and Lindor behind him to have a chance to hit the ball at the ballpark. Now, remember, Lindor had a home run the day prior to put the Mets ahead. That's what you have to let your offense do.
Along with Brandon's bat after he took that first pitch. That's odd. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. There's something clearly wrong with his bat, and he's given the leeway to replace it without a violation. Antonio Senzatella making his season debut for the Rockies, coming off knee surgery last year. 2 rehab starts to get ready for this one, and he darts one outside, 1-2 to Nemo. It's on the outside corner.
Nemo's been striking out a lot.
A slider, and Nemo strikeout victim to start at the bottom of the first. Major Honda Met starting lineup. Tommy Pham getting his first start of the year against a right-hander. He has good numbers against Senzatella. He swung the bat well in Detroit, one of the few bats who did. So he gets a start against a righty. Here's Starling Marte, who's 7 for 11 against Senzatella, including a home run. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Marte's had a hit in each of the last 4 games. Takes fastball out of the strike zone, 1-1.
Whoa. You said Pham.
Yeah, it's crazy, Ken. I don't know what's up with him. He's not seeing the ball well out of the hands. I don't know.
Every day. Yes.
Weird.
Slider off the plate. He stopped the swing in time, 2-1.
Senzatella, this is his debut. Hurt his knee last year fielding the ground ball, had to have ACL surgery.
Oh, that's a shot.
Bryant drifting over toward the corner. And puts it
2
away,
outs.
2 out.
There ever was a pitcher who pitches the contact. It's Antonio Senzatella. He's one of those pitchers. Now, this is his numbers from last year, so he didn't have a great year, but he's a strike thrower. He'll give up a lot of hits. He usually doesn't walk a lot of hitters. He's not going to strike out a lot of hitters.
He's never had more than 8 strikeouts in a major league game. There are only 2 active pitchers who had more starts without ever striking out 9 in a game. Jose Urega, who actually pitched for the Rockies earlier this year, and Trevor Williams. Francisco Lindor batting 3rd in the order, fouls 1 time. Francisco 2 for 11 in the series in Detroit. His batting average down to 212, but still among the top 5 in the league in extra base hits. He's driven in 24 runs. An odd start for Francisco.
It's very odd. 212 average, but is 5th in extra base hits. It's crazy.
Last 22 innings. First innings have not been kind to them all year. They've scored only 5 runs in the first inning this season in their first 32 games.
I don't think they've hit the ball at the ballpark either, right? In the first inning?
Home runs in the first. The only team in the majors without first inning home run. Two coming to Lindor. And 8,000 back. Senzatella's return came at a fortuitous moment for the Rockies. They just lost their ace, Germán Marquez, to Tommy John surgery. And so they badly needed Senzatella's return. Bud Black, now in his 7th year as the Rockies skipper. Senzatella missed the changeup, and it's 2-2. Rockies last had a winning season in 2018. The last time they went to the postseason. Been in something of a permanent rebuilding mode since then, since they traded away Nolan Arenado. inside to Lindor at 3-2. That's why it shocked everybody so much when they signed Bryant to that huge contract.
It's like you're getting rid of one of the best players in the game to sign a real good player for another big contract, replacing Arenado with Bryant.
Alonso would be next. Lindor goes
And
down.
he strikes out.
Slider by
1, 2, 3 for the Mets. Once again, 2 strikeouts, 1 Nemo, 1 Lindor. Again, the at-bats are just not good. Not good at all. Unfortunately, not good. So they're doing. I don't know if you guys are looking at like the if you watch an SNY, they got the QR code for the West Coast, Rockies, Giants, and Angels. It's like a triple play ticket option and stuff like that. It's interesting. They do weird things with the ticket options now. It's kind of weird, but you know, what are you gonna do? So once again, guys, the Mets do not score in the first inning. And again, it's just not good at bats. You know, even though Marte's been struggling, at least he's putting the bat on the ball, and he's been. You could see that he's putting better at bats together, but I don't know what's up. I mean, Nemo's probably just in a slump, but I mean, usually you don't see Nemo strike out like that. Like usually, he might be slumping, but he'll put the bat on the ball. But that's alarming. With all these strikeouts over the last week, and then Lindor, with his average, it doesn't even make sense, to be honest with you. The way Lindor, like, he's got 24 RBIs, which is what? That's actually pretty good in 33 games, and he has 4 home runs. Home runs are not 4 home runs in a month. I mean, I'll get you to 20 plus home runs, but the average, like, he's 5th in the league in extra base hits, yet he has a 209 average now. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's a very odd offensive season. Yet he's been productive, but the average is not looking like somebody who is 5th in extra base hits and has 24 RBIs. All right, so top of the second, no score.
Against Kodai Senga. He takes the fastball up and away from ball 1. Third baseman for the Rockies, and he's a very gifted defensive third baseman. He began the year playing second base for the league with Brendan Rodgers. They're finding out second baseman's out for probably the season with shoulder injuries. They put McMahon back at second base for the first few weeks. But now back at his more comfortable third.
His glove works anywhere. Very versatile defender. What they're looking for from him is pop. He's the guy that he's not going to hit for a high average, but great power.
Well, they had the guy, Larry Montero, playing third base, and that wasn't working out. He wasn't not defending well at all. So now they've decided to send Montero to the minors, make him a first baseman with an eye toward C.J. Cron, leaving the free agent after the year. So they're kind of playing that for the future. 3-1 to McMahon with Randall Grichuk on deck. And
Popped it up.
Third.
Baby's going back. He's way out there. Whoa. Beatty was basically in left field.
I don't even know if Tommy Pham called for that, because I think he just assumed that ball was so far in the outfield that Beatty wouldn't go that far, but he did. Look at the way he looked at him, like, what are you doing out here? Did you hear me? There you go.
Randall Grichuk. It's an interesting question, but it's not unprecedented. As a young player coming up to the major leagues, you've played hundreds and hundreds of baseball games, but you've played very few with crowds that number in 5 figures.
Right. So sometimes you can't, you're just not used to kind of hearing someone's voice. And after you play in the big leagues for a while, any kind of sound you hear, it's the guy calling you off. Plus, a little overeager when it's your, only your second year in the big leagues. You're trying to make your mark, and you want to be overly aggressive. I understand that.
Which is okay too, as long as you don't run anybody over.
That's right.
Randall Grichuk Playing his first week of the season, coming off hernia surgery, didn't play it all spring training. This is only his 5th game. He's off to a hot start. And Richard takes the fastball high, and it's 2-2. Years old. 2-2 coming. And
Nice
Senga
pitch.
strikes him
2
out.
outs.
Out with the splitter. Second strikeout for Kodai Senga. 2 down in the second.
Now, this is easier said than
Look at that ball. Woof.
We're talking about a pitcher
Hello.
that has all the weapons to put you away if he gets the pitcher's counts. Because when he does, he makes the hitters look foolish.
Easy, it's looking like that.
Forks have been hung. 2 out of nobody on there. Harold Castro playing second base tonight. And he takes up an away ball 1. Castro spent 5 years with Detroit as a multi-positional player. Sharing second base these days with Alan Trejo in the absence of Brendan Rodgers. 1-1 to Castro.
Seat right there.
You'd like to stare down Kodai Senga in this.
Ooh.
Ball misses outside, 2-1. Tonight's City Community Home Runs fan of the game is Karen from Staten Island. Go to SNY.TV/CHR to enter. Good luck, Karen. And Castro pulls
Ground
one
ball.
through the hole. Alonso deflects it to McNeil. Who
Hey, nice play by McNeil. Nice play. So Alonso makes a dive to catch it. It bounces off of him, goes right to McNeil. Senga covers. There's some good fundies right there. Just stayed on the bag. Good play by everyone around. And the Mets are going to the bottom of the second with no score. Again, what did we want to see so far? We want to see better defense, team that looks more focused. Again, offensively, when you're struggling, you're struggling. You know what the Mets need? The Mets need somebody to just light a fire under them, like a base hit, a big home run, even an early home run just to get it going a little bit. Everybody could take a deep breath. I think you can see they're tensed at the plate, and everybody's trying to hit a 5-run home run. But again, that's a good play. That's why you always back up your teammate, right? That's what you do in baseball. There's always something to do when you're on the field, right? McNeil knew that he needed to back up Alonso there just in case if it got through him, and Senga did his job as a pitcher, covering first when Alonso went after the ball. So it's just good fundies right there, as Keith says. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Thank you for tuning in to another live stream. Mets Rockies game 33 of the season. The Mets are 516-16 on the season. Time for them to pick up some wins at home. That would be nice. Finally the Mets are going to have more home games at home this month, since April they had 17 games on the road in the first part of the season. Probably more than that, probably. But May's going to be a little bit more games at home, so that should be a good thing, if they're winning. But they haven't really played well at home either. Their first homestand wasn't very good, besides, the home opener series. But, losing series to the Nationals, losing series to the Braves, not good. All right, so bottom of the second, Pete Alonso up, no score.
That ball over to Senga.
Senga had to contort himself, reaching back with his left hand, finding the bag with his right foot. Not easy to do. Pete Alonso fouls one back, and it's 1-1.
Watch McNeil. It's a little tiny bit behind Senga, but he does a nice job of stretching, catching, and then just keeping his foot right on the end of that bag. Good dismount by Senga.
As a pitcher, how do you find the bag when you're not looking that way?
Well, watch the left shoulder from, I guess, reaching back for that ball, kind of stretching it out of Senga. How do you do it? I think the route that a lot of pitchers take straight to the back now makes it very, very difficult. But they're not fearful of the runner running up their backside. And there was a time, if you were in the baseline, that the runner would run you over. And that's why you had to take a better inside approach.
It's one of the advantages of the bigger bases now.
Yes, you're right.
It's less chance of a collision.
So he hustles right out of the box, right off the mound, but he went straight to the bag. So if you want to think about it, you have to time everything so perfectly, which he did, to make that out. The reason you run up the line a little bit, it makes it a little easier.
Let's hope so, Mike.
A target for the infielder, and it also makes it a little easier in stride to touch the base.
2-2 to Alonso, and he reaches for one and taps it on the ground to second for Castro. And that's the first out. I was watching him. I never saw him look at first base. It's amazing.
The stop and shot, Rockies defense.
All right, Jeff McNeil coming up with one out.
Stop to a great start. McMahon at third. So far, can't wait to see him make some plays at shortstop. Their 21-year-old Castro and C.J. Cron. And in the outfield, Profar, who came up as an infielder, now plays outfield only. Richard in center field.
Neil swings at this at a fastball from Sensatella. Jeff went 1 for 10 in the series in Detroit. And very little offense the last 2 games in that series.
I do have to say, from just watching on television.
Damn, Tampa Bay took wasted no time winning 4-0 against the Yankees. Jeez.
Spot on all day.
My God.
I mean, he was so good that twice in the game, on 2-2 counts, he got called for a pitch clock violation to get to 3-2. He still was tremendous. He gave up only 2 hits in 8 innings.
Ball 3, good eye by McNeil.
Out of the strike zone, it's 3-1. Jeff has a home run against Sensatella, 2 for 9. Sensatella's pitched well against the Mets. I've faced him in a couple of years, but lifetime 2.98 ERA against New York.
Ground ball should be 2 outs.
Chance for Castro. Sensatella's retired the first 5. Driver on the Bakers, presented by your Tri-State County dealers. Welcome Rays at 26.
They're just so good. A plus 114 run differential in 33 games. That's freaking insane.
Rays have outhomered the opposition 67-20 coming into the day, and they've outscored the opposition 210-96. I mean, that's not just winning; that's utter domination in every respect.
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah.
At that rate, you're outscoring the opponent by 500 runs at the end of the year plus.
Best start.
So here goes Beatty, first time this year in the 6 or higher in the lineup. Nice to see.
35-5.
10? Nope.
Beatty goes after a changeup, and it's 1-2.
They're on a pace for
Tom Thibodeau. I don't know yet.
Yeah, 130-odd wins. I don't think they'll do either one of those things.
What I find interesting is that it doesn't matter who they plug and play. They have Luke Rayleigh. All of a sudden, he hits home runs. Taylor Walls hit 182 last year. He's got 6 home runs. I mean, it just maxed out whoever they put in any position.
Well, they also have Wander Franco, who's immensely talented. Yes, plays every day. I mean, he can flip the ball to himself. 1-2 coming, and Beatty hits
Ground ball hits it hard, but right at the second baseman. Well, didn't hit him where he ain't there. All right, so no score, no runs in the bottom of the second. Here we go again. Runs will be very interesting once again, guys. So going to the top of the third, no score. 21-28. Listen, it's not about play discipline either. It's when they're hitting the ball, they're hitting the ball. It's just that it's not hitting it where they ain't. And then look, the strikeouts, they're just not good right now. Like, I don't know if it's about just play discipline. I think when you're struggling, and everything, your timing feels off. You don't feel like you're holding the bat right. Your hands might be a little different. You might be squeezing the bat a little tighter. It's a lot of things that adds up to you being in a slump. You start thinking a little bit more. If you play baseball before, you have an idea of what they're going through. And again, even if you're a professional hitter, everybody goes through a slump, and you start thinking more. You might do more batting practice. You might say, should I change my stance? Should I stand a little bit closer to the plate or away from the plate? Am my hands too high? You start thinking about everything except just seeing the ball and hitting the ball. And that's when you fall into a big trap, and that's when they end up being in a slump. And that's just baseball until they figure it out. Again, They just need somebody to, and that is the other problem about. Not only are you in a slump, when you're falling behind in games, now there's even more pressure on the offense, and it's just a trickle down effect. And JL, you see, it's hard to say in 33 games into the season because right now we would all probably consider having another bat in this lineup, but by middle of June we might need more pitching, so we don't really know. I prefer to get a bat. I think that the pitching rotation is going to be fine. I don't think you need to have a great pitching staff. You just need to be good enough. And if most of your starters can give you 5 or 6 innings, 2 runs, I think you can win some games there. So first pitch, pop up. McNeil should have it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
One pitch and 1 out. Go to SNY.TV's Twitter and Facebook to enter.
Yeah, Jay. And look, last year we didn't have that June swoon that we always talk about, right? Maybe it's an April swoon. Because in the middle of April we were 14-7, so it's like a late April swoon right now.
The interesting part of that is that Diaz, who received his Reliever of the Year award for the game tonight, was able to walk up the dugout steps, no crutches necessary. That's a good sign.
There's been a lot of talk about Diaz being really, really, really ahead of schedule. Again, I don't know if he's going to pitch this year, but there's a lot of good signs that he's way ahead of schedule, which is nice to see.
Cutter inside is 3-1. This is before the game today. I thought it was a nice touch that they not only Jeremy Hefner in the ceremony, but the 2 bullpen catchers, Dave Raggiello and Eric Langiel, were part of the ceremony. That's right in Langiel.
All right, 2 outs.
And that's the second out. Work is turning for the Mets. That's 2 bullpen drives right at infielders in the first 3 innings.
JL, I even said it, and a lot of Brave fans got at me, but it's a huge problem with shortstop. I know RC has been good for you guys, but but losing Swanson, it's not hurting you guys record-wise, but you can see the hole at shortstop that Swanson is leaving right now.
So 6 in a row retired by Senga, and now Jurickson Profar.
So far so good for Senga. Let's see, because he's in the first inning he had problems after 2 outs walking a few guys. I'd like to see him put a quick inning together here.
It's a thankless job. There's usually some of the most engaging, fun people to be around. They're usually hilarious to be around. And they're usually the brunt of jokes, and they give it out as well. But they do a lot of the work that players don't really want to do. And it's a great part of the ball club.
I have 2 words for you. Rob Drummerhauser. That's right.
Thumper.
Nice pitch.
He was your bullpen catcher back in the day.
I don't know, JL, because it always seems
There's a breaking ball, split finger
that Swanson always came through in a big spot, especially against the Mets. Every time he played the Mets, it seemed like Swanson came up with a big hit.
Interesting. Senga waited for Profar to call for time and then went back and got the rosin bag. It's like he took advantage of the break as much as the hitter. Two coming. And he tries to bust him inside with a fastball.
That was a nice pitch. Unfortunately, that was just a good hold by the hitter there.
Got a really good fastball.
Yeah, but JL, you know what? That's like every player, though, right? That's understandable. He's very streaky, of course, but name a player that's not. Nice take. That was a good pitch, too.
3-2 fork ball. And so it's a 2-out walk to Profar, and the 3rd walk given up by Senga.
Look at his glove on his front hand. He's got it inverted, so it's upside down as he's going to throw. Very unusual. Left knee buckled towards his right knee.
Yeah, we see Senga this year. When he gets to 2 outs, he has problems getting that third out, that put away out pitch, just to get out of an inning without any trouble on the bases. It's been his problem this year, which increases that pitch count.
Fastball at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Thinking stolen base. The Rockies don't do much running. Makes sense at Coors Field. But they have only 7 stolen bases through the first 32 games. That's last in the National League.
Nice pitch.
That fastball dents the corner, and it's 1-2. Back of those 7 steals they have this year, I think one of them's in the lineup tonight. One steal. 1 through 9 in the bag. Good
Nice
stop
block by Nito.
On the 4th ball in the dirt, 2-2.
That's 3 or 4 times Nito has made outstanding plays. This one, just impossible really to get all the way over there and block it. He is so adept with that glove. He's almost like an infielder behind the plate.
2-2 coming to Bryant. This is high. Snap throw, and Crawford
Oh,
shuts down
almost
the
got him.
handback.
We've seen this a lot from Alvarez. We're seeing it from Nito, and I like it. Because the pitchers are limited in their disengagements, the catchers have to take a little more onus on them to keep those runners close.
Now Crawford will be running on a 3-2 pitch. And off to Bryant in the dirt for ball 4. Doing this badly with a 3-2 forkball. For the second time in this game, Senga's issued back-to-back 2-out walks. And, now
And that's the issue right there with Senga. The 2 outs, he gets the 2 outs, and then he can't get out of an inning. That's a problem. That's that when you add that pitch count up.
Matched up Alvarez with Senga because I would imagine of all the Mets starters, Senga's probably the most complicated to catch.
Complicated in calling the pitches, and most importantly, you're going to get 20 balls in the dirt.
Walked his first time up. Senga started off with a fastball at the knees and comes back with a cutter that misses down.
Well, I think that's what it is, Jay. I think he gets a little bit too, I wouldn't say fancy, but I think he falls in love with a pitch during a game, and I think that's what he falls in that trap. He's got a nice fastball. Like, his fastball is nasty. Like, I mean, he spots his fastball. He don't throw it enough, in my opinion. When you throw 98, 99, you need to throw it a little bit more, especially with that forkball. Got to be careful here with Chrome. Uh-oh. No, it's going to stay in the yard. And he gets out of it and gets out of trouble once again. 2 times in this game. First inning, third inning. Quick 2 outs and then walk the guy, get into a little bit of trouble. And that's how you increase your pitch count. That's something that he has to learn. Again, you know, you never know how these guys are going to perform in the majors. You know, it is a complete different situation than Japan. And, you know, I go back, you know, look, he was never on the level coming out of Japan as like Ohtani and Darvish, right? Those guys are on another level, pitching wise. Senga is like the next tier under. You know, I would say superstar level is Darvish, Ohtani, and then under that is probably where Senga is. Like, he's a star in Japan. And yeah, that was not a good pitch to Chrome, but he missed it. But sometimes you make a mistake and you don't pay for it. That's good. You know, he was just a little bit under it, which means he was a little bit fooled, right? So, and I think the thing with what we have to understand with Senga is that he's going to learn that probably in Japan, they probably, you know, swing at those forkballs in the dirt that major league players are not going to go after, right? So he's got to learn that maybe my fastball is another way to give me a put-out pitch in situations like that, and that's what he's got to learn. Again, you know, he seems like a guy that he understands what he's doing wrong. He just has to capitalize on it and do it. So, but that would be something that he has to work on. And you could see it gradually, right? What he's been doing game by game. And If you look at his pitch count percentage, he's throwing a lot more fastballs in this game so far. It's just that when he gets to that 2-out situation with nobody on, it seems like he plays with those fork balls and the off-speed pitches, and there's no need to. Like, challenge the hitter. Throw your fastball a little bit more in that situation. All right, bottom of the third, no score. Tommy Pham up. Ken, I think he's going to be back, to be honest with you.
The season coming off knee surgery, and so far so good. 6 up and 6
I mean,
down.
he's already off the crutches, and that was like, what, a month and a half ago since surgery?
6 hits, 13 at bat. That's part of it. The other part is
Come on, Tommy.
he gets a ground ball to second.
We're hitting a lot of balls in second today.
4 in a row that have been hit on the second base. Now the Cardinals that of all the bad hitters, them in the best series in Detroit. 4 hits and 7 at bats, including a home run. You know,
What's up, JJ?
speaking of sunsets, I was thinking of what we were talking about with Matt Harvey earlier and the sunset of his career. And I was thinking about the capriciousness of pitching. You know, Harvey is the most recent example of something that's happened throughout baseball history. Pitchers who are able to starve for a short period of time before their bodies betray them. You know, think back to Rex Barney, who came up with the Dodgers in the 1940s and probably threw as hard as anybody in the game, but whose career was over by age 25.
David Clyde, who was the number 1 pick for the Rangers. You could go on and on.
A more recent example, Brandon Webb. Brandon Webb won a Cy Young with Arizona. He was as dominant a pitcher as there was in the game for 3 years. He won 22 games his last season.
Right to the second baseman.
That's 5 straight chances for Castro.
Another ball hit hard to the second baseman, and we're just
Brandon Webb threw
hitting it to the second baseman.
his career. He threw out his arm. He was done. And, you know, in Matt's case, he came back from Tommy John surgery, had that incredible year in 2015, threw more innings than anybody ever has first year after Tommy John, but then he had the thoracic outlet surgery and everything else. And
All right, 2 outs, Nino up, no score.
To pitch in the big leagues since 2021, and today decided to call it quits.
Just remember the surreal nature of his greatness, starting with those 5 1/3, 11 Ks that you and Keith saw him in Arizona. There's the starts, of course. First 65 starts. Not too much better. Not many pitchers in the history of the game have done better
6 times
in the first
already in this
65
game.
than Matt did.
And Nino strikes out to end the inning. Bottom of the top of the 4th. It's coming up. No score. Yeah, there's been no hits in the game so far. Yeah, I'm Hayden. I'm glad you actually did that with the time. I mean, this has been what it's been the last week. Their innings at bats have been so quick. Like it's a problem because look, not only with the pitch count, but not giving your pitcher a chance to freaking take a breather is a problem in itself. Right, you know the Rockies. You know they're extending innings with walks, a little bit better at bats. They don't have a hit yet, but you know what? They're giving their pitcher time to relax in a freaking dugout. And you know, Senga probably didn't even get a drink of water, and he's back on the mound again. And that's been the problem too. And you know that's another reason why you could probably have a problem with that as well, because that can't help the pitchers at all, especially the starters. So. But unfortunately, Mets and the Rockies don't have any hits yet. Hayden, no. But then again, right? Do the Yankees look like a $285 million payroll? Do the Padres look like a $250 million payroll? The way they're healthy, right? You know, their lineup is basically the bottom of the league, just like the Mets. You know, and I went through the records of yesterday. Teams that should be better, a lot better, are basically hovering around 500 or a game over or a game under. And it's been a problem in the National League this year. like teams you expect to be dominant or really good haven't been. It's a weird season so far in the National League.
Not officially announced that Ryan Feltner goes Sunday.
All right, top of the fourth, no score.
Cincinnati and Washington.
5, 6, 7 for the Rockies.
Tonight in Cincinnati. As Diaz leads off against Kodai Senga. Neither team's had a hit in this game, but Senga's walked 4 over the first 3 innings. Diaz
Oh, hey, I agree with you, buddy. I just think that they don't want him to catch with Senga yet. I don't know. I think at some point they're going to, though.
Career with the Pirates and the Rockies has a bit of a threat at the plate, but he has torn the cover off the ball early in the year. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary's tore the cover off the ball.
It is, Marcus. I agree with you.
Out behind the plate that nobody else seems to be doing it at that high of a clip, especially with these new rules. He's thrown out 44% of base runners, which is exactly twice as high as league average. And I was talking to Bud Black before the game today. He said it's actually something that's counterintuitive, where we've gotten him to slow everything down. That human nature is you see a runner taking off and you speed up. You want to get the ball there, but he's got such a cannon of an arm that they worked with Diaz on just catching the ball first.
Yeah, Steven, they can, but nobody's going to be trading at this moment. It's early May. You ain't going to see any type of movement in probably until June.
He also said, Bud Black, that's one of the reasons he's so good at the plate right
But
now.
I understand it, but discipline isn't the only reason.
Not jumping out of his cleats the way that he used to.
They're actually, when they're hitting the ball hard. They're just hitting it right at somebody. That has nothing to do with plate discipline.
Off the charts. Last year he had a 648 OPS. This year 882. It's a big jump.
Well, there's a lot of April All-Stars, and you're hoping that he has a full season.
Full count for Senga.
Strike 3, nice pitch. See when he throws that fastball? The batters are not looking for the fastball on a 3-2 count.
Senga's third strikeout.
Well, you have been missing away and down in the strike zone. This time he elevated it and caught a piece of the top of that strike zone.
That fastball is potent. They're not looking for that fastball.
Last little piece of sun for tonight, folks. One more note on Matt Harvey. I had heard that the Long Island Ducks were interested in signing Matt after he pitched for Italy at the WBC this spring. I guess, not knowing fully the situation, that Matt was not interested in that path.
Well, it was such a high for him in the WBC. He really was a gamer and pitched well for Mike Piazza's Italian club. And probably felt if it wasn't a major league opportunity, that was
Ground ball
his
the
last
first
hurrah.
and 2 outs. Now Senga hasn't had problems getting the first 2 outs of the inning. Let's see what he does on with 2 outs here with nobody on.
Pitchers that,
This has been his struggle today.
careers were over early. You know, so it lends itself when you think of Harvey. My first thought is what could have been. You know, if you know how far he could have gone. That's just how much star power and how good his stuff, demeanor. I mean, on the field, you can't put together a better package.
Without question. At the same time, though, I think it does a disservice to him and his incredible brilliance to think about what he didn't do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's
Trying, Dominic. Trying, Dominic. I wish I could do more.
Society, baseball, and everything to think about what didn't happen. I like to think about what did happen. He created memories that we'll have forever.
Mark, I agree with that.
Heat starting that All-Star game, I'll never forget that. What was 2013, I believe,
with the orange shoes.
And a 2 outs problem, first hit of the game.
He dumps one in the left center.
That was actually a good pitch.
Senga has retired the first 2 in every inning, but he's had trouble getting that third out.
well, this is a good pitch.
Yeah, it
First
is.
pitch inside
That was a
the
good at
right-hander.
bat. That was a good piece of hitting right there.
Grichuk in that bat.
That ball was
But
in and
Grichuk's
low,
so
and the guy
strong.
just turned
He was
on
able
it.
to just jump that ball. Watch how he pulls his hands in to recognize that ball inside and really kind of a half of a swing produces that base hit.
So now Harold Castro, 2 out runner at first, takes the fastball up and away from ball one.
Pitches, I don't know what that was. the warning. I'm not sure. And they didn't even bring it up on the broadcast. So I don't even think they noticed it. Ground ball should end the inning. And it does. All right. So looking good so far through 4 innings. Gave up 1 hit, but no runs. Mets got to see. This is a situation where it's like, if it's not the pitching, it's the offense. Yeah, listen. You know what's funny about Michael Kay? Yesterday, and a caller called him out. I think this was a caller that always calls WFAM because they said to him, they go, Michael, why don't you you'll criticize, but you'll never say anything bad about Brian Cashman, where he shouldn't be, that he's been making tremendous amount of mistakes putting the team together. Why don't you criticize Brian Cashman? And then Michael was like, I never want to, say on air that somebody should lose their job. It was the funniest thing. Like Michael Kay got completely off guard with that. Patrice, no, I think it was at Senga, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure what it was. I don't know if it was I don't know. But yeah, they were talking about that on the broadcast about Harvey. But yeah, it was something that could have been important. I don't know what it was, but oh well, we already know the Yankee broadcast is a joke. Michael Kay is a huge homer. We all know that. You'll never hear Michael Kay do what Gary Cohen did yesterday when Nemo stole second base. The outrage and the disappointment in his voice and the bad criticism on air. You never hear that from Michael Kay. If you listen to Michael Kay, you think the Yankees are in first place. That's how he sounds. Oh boy. But I give them no ratings. So I don't care to listen to Michael Kay and the Michael Kay show. All right, Brandon Nemo leading off, and that's a ball that might be gone. Hey, we got a run. Brandon Nemo, home run to right field. 1-0 Mets. Yay, we're leading. Put a record of it. Take a picture. The Mets have a lead for the first time in probably 575 days. 1-0. Nice to see Nemo finally. He swung at the first pitch, which Nemo does not do. There we go. There you go. Now, take a deep breath, and let's get going. Look at that. Right down the middle. Oh, no, that was a good pitch. Nemo pulled in his arms and pulled it to right field. Whoa. Easy, Ken. Easy. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. Mark it on your calendar, guys. It's history. Mets score a run first. We really do need a laugher. We need like a 13-0 game. That was a good piece of hitting by Nemo there, especially when you're struggling. Marte putting a good at bat together. Nice to see.
See Brandon at some point putting up 15 to 20, right?
It's hard to tell. Yeah, he's got the capability of doing that, but the question is, how much would he have?
Ground ball to second base.
Astro with another chance. That's his 6th assist already. The first 10 outs.
Right in the lefty wheelhouse.
That was actually not a terrible pitch.
Right on the baseball.
But quick hands inside.
Left-handed hitter to swing. It's the sweet.
All right, Lindor up, 1 out.
Way to go.
Now Lindor has struck out his first time up. He takes a change up for a strike.
Hey, that might be a double. Come on, Frankie, run it. I don't mind that. I don't mind that hustle at all. Trying to make something happen there. It's early in the game.
Nicely, he made a perfect one-hop throw to second.
Yep, they think he's safe. They're going to challenge it.
Chavez has challenged the call.
Interesting.
It did look like he was safe.
Lindor thought he was out. Listen, good hitting first by
I like the hustle going to first, trying to get to second there. Don't mind that early in the game. No, maybe he was out. Hustling the whole time? Good throw? Oh, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
And wants to tag here. Nice tag by Castro to get it down.
Oh, I think he's out.
And again, I think it's because you have to make this call so early. So you want to make the call to check for your star player to see if he got in there. I just think his
he looks like he's out.
Bouncing that's supposed to straight into the bag. And when it was bouncing, it was just in the air a bit when the tag comes down. And then the spikes hit, in my opinion.
I agree. And I think
He does look out, but I don't mind the aggressiveness. You got to make things happen here. Especially struggling to score runs. He does look out.
That's changed the nature of challenging this year.
Again, the call is out on the field.
Slide straight in. It's not that easy. When you slide, your spikes catch the dirt. And when they catch the dirt, they kind of prop it in the air. And that's what happened. Watch this back spike. Hit the dirt, pops it up one more time, which almost puts a stop to your cleat as it's approaching the bag.
Laz Diaz and Jerry Lane of the crew chiefs in the replay center this week.
Taking a little long there.
The spike will hit, pops it in there, hits again, pops it before it gets to the bag, and I think Castro applied the tag. But I like the hustle, I like the aggressiveness, I love all of it.
They're taking a long look at it, and the longer they look, the more that might work in the Mets' favor.
It's like a jury.
Yeah. If they come back quick, and it's obvious that you know what you're going to get.
It is taking long, so they must have a different angle.
Umpires have to make that call. Here we go.
Yeah, he's out. Okay.
The Mets led the world in successful challenges last year, but the landscape has changed. It's been a very different
Well, had to be a perfect throw.
in 2023.
2 outs.
So an 8-4 put out for the second out. And 2 out and nobody on for Alonso. He grounded out his first time up. Fastball from Sensatella in first strike. It's challenged 6 times this year. They've only overturned 1 out of 6. Last year, they were up around 78% success rate, so it's completely different.
And that's why you try to force the issue, because Alonso's been struggling too.
The umpire had to make the call. We got to give credit to the umpire who made the proper call and the Grichuk with a fine defensive play.
Robin Hudson, umpire on the scene, who made the call.
I like the aggressiveness in that spot because nobody's hitting right now.
0-2 to Alonso. He takes a fastball upstairs, 1-2.
Come on, Pete.
That home run means City will donate $2,000 to No Kid Hungry to help fight childhood hunger. Now more than ever, kids across America need our help. 2-2 from Sensatella. And Alonso flies
Popped
from
it up.
shallow right center.
And should end the inning, and it does. So Mets get on the board with a Brendan Nemo solo home run. 1-0 Mets. Top of the 5th coming up. Again, in that spot, in that situation early in the game, when your team is not hitting, you push the issue. Again, it had to be a perfect throw and a perfect tag to get Lindor. So, this wasn't a Brendan Nemo situation in the night when you're down by 2, right? You already got the lead. You're trying to make something happen early in the game. So, especially with your whole lineup struggling, hey, I'll take the 1 run right now, considering the fact that we can't score at all. So, once again, guys, we got 100 in the stream right now. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. Mets got a 1-0 lead on a Brandon Nemo home run to right field. Brandon Nemo, look, it was nice to see Brandon Nemo swing at the first pitch, considering he usually doesn't, especially when he's struggling. Mothman, look, if you don't get that they were going to do that again, look back at Darvish coming to the majors. Look at Ohtani coming to the majors. The Angels and the Cubbies, they did the same exact thing. Same exact thing. Gave him an off day, skipping his start. They did that the first year he was here. Both of them. They did the exact same thing. So this is not groundbreaking thing that the Mets are doing here, right? I guarantee you they looked at how Japanese pitchers over the last 5 to 7 years came into the league and how they performed and how they do it. That's it. Again, I know you want to see Senga every 5th day, but if he's only going to throw 95 pitches in 5 innings, you're wasting your time. So this early in the season, there's no need to overextend him when he's never pitched 140 innings in his life.
Tovar up for the second time. Tovar, just 21 years old, top prospect in the Rockies system. Made his big league debut late last season. The youngest position player ever to debut for the Rockies. Pulls off the slider and misses on 2-2. Rough start at the plate this year, but he's hit it 7 straight games, so that's starting to come around. Bounces one foul on a cutter, 0-2.
First 19 games hit a .172. His last 10 is over 300.
Joe Blackman on deck, and then Jurickson Profar against Senga, who's given up only 1 hit through the first 4 innings, but he's walked 4. Profar slashes 1 foul.
71 pitchers, starting into the 5th with 3 pitchers so far in the 5th. So pitch count is pretty decent, not great but good.
Looks like Senga has changed his glove from what we originally saw in Miami. I wonder if that has to do with the black jersey night here, Black Fridays. They're all black gloves.
Well, he's still got the ghost. It's just black on black.
Yeah.
Ooh, just inside.
That forkball inside. 2-2.
Ready and waiting.
Tovar first signed, he was a switch hitter, but gave up left-hand hitting.
There you go. Use that fastball.
I feel as though he's gained some strength as he's worked his way through the Rockies system. And he'll continue to gain some more. Eventually, be more of an extra base hit threat. 1 home run so far this year. 2-2 coming. And that's lined to the center field.
Come on, Brandon. Nice catch. There you go. Nice catch. Brandon Nemo.
Well, it's what we've seen from Brandon all year long, but really particularly the first 3 weeks of the season. He caught everything that could be caught, and you could not get him out. You always get the effort from Brandon.
So much has been made of him playing deeper, making him a better center fielder, but you can't play deeper unless you have the ability to come in on balls like that. Charlie Blackman is 0-2. Charlie's grounded out, line to short.
It's a whole mindset, Gary. I can remember 3-4 years ago that he would not catch that ball because he wanted to play careful or more careful. Plays with reckless abandon out there now.
Popped it up.
The infield should be easy for Beatty.
2 outs.
2 out. Road ahead presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers.
Mets have an opportunity here. We're facing bad teams. Not looking good against bad teams, but got to take advantage of these next 9 games. Rockies, Reds, Nationals.
To play Tampa Bay and Cleveland.
Oh, I did, Ken. You just don't listen.
Fascinating. The Rays at Citifield. Best record in the majors.
This year they haven't fallen in front. Last year they did a lot. But he's got a contract now, so he don't care if he gets hurt. It's a big difference now.
Young players that the Mets traded away.
Yeah, get him off the plate. There you go.
Francisco Lindor, Ahmed Rosario, and Andres Jimenez, both of whom are really filling great roles for the Guardians.
And they played great last year. But they're
What Nemo has done is develop a better first step after contact. That made all the difference. Nice pitch.
Heavy, great fundamentals. It fits in with that whole mindset of the Guardians. Look at guys like Jose Ramirez and Steven.
It's a big at bat here. Got to get him out of here. Get out of this inning. 82 pitches. Gets out of here early.
Because he is their star.
Come out for the sixth.
2-2 to Profar.
Nice. There you go. Strikes him out. Senga threw 5. No runs. 1 hit. Good start by Senga. 83 pitches. He's definitely coming out for the sixth. And that's been his problem. He in Miami, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he went 6, or was it Milwaukee? He went, 5 1/3? So this possibly could be his longest outing of the year. And again, got 8 days off. There's no reason why he can't get to 100 pitches. And he's pitching well. Keep him out there. But exactly. He's going out for the sixth. 83 pitches. He's going out for the sixth. There's no reason to take him out. He's not pitching bad. He doesn't look like he's struggling. His pitches are still strong. I keep him there. Again, put him out for the sixth, but have somebody ready in the bullpen if he gets into trouble. Right? The 6th inning, you're gonna have the 3rd time around the order. That might be a little worrisome for him, but we'll see. Again, put him out there for the 6th. And make sure you have a bullpen guy ready just in case he gets into a little bit of trouble. Because he's only, 17 pitches away from 100? I don't think they're going to go past that. But, again, he has 8 days off. So, you can 95 to 100 pitches shouldn't be a problem for him today. But, Jay, I was just going to say that. Let's get some runs. Give him some run support. One is nice, but they're showing a Bartolo Colon home run in San Diego.
That goes up there. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Bartolo has done it. The impossible has happened. This is one of the great moments in the history of baseball. Bartolo Colon has done indeed.
Well, it'll be 7 years
That was a lot of fun.
on Sunday that Bartolo created that magic moment in San Diego.
All right, Jeff McNeil leading off. Bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Mets.
Historic home run.
Well, it's going to be a strike. Probably a comebacker inside to a lefty. He was just pure joy to watch his time in a Mets uniform.
Well, popped up by McNeil. He was not happy.
Wait for it to come down. So the Mets Hall of Fame has this new feature where every Sunday they're going to bring out some artifacts for fans to be able to look at and handle. But if you're going to handle them, you have to wear gloves.
Are these the New York Times crossword gloves that they used to give out? So you wouldn't get any ink on your fingers?
So we are going to don the gloves so we can actually partake of Bartolo Colon's jersey. This is the actual jersey that he wore to hit the home run in San Diego, complete with accent with the second globe.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't that great?
Nice. I like the fence here that they have for the invention of the shirt is so much better than in the day. Accent, 49.
I feel like we're master gloves and the music.
Very nice. I like that.
So this is the jersey. We got to see
Ooh,
it in action.
didn't get that low strike. 3-1 to Beatty.
Incredibly slowly around the bases.
Since Gary and Ron are not really calling the game and worrying about Bartolo's Colon jersey, I'll help you out there, guys. It'd be nice if they don't play that song so they don't give me a damn copyright. But, what are you going to do?
Well, embarrassed because you know.
All right, so 3-2 count the Beatty. I'm going to keep it on mute because they're going to copyright me with that stupid music they're playing. So 3-2 count the Beatty, 1 out in the 5th. Mets lead 1-0.
That's the best part of the whole thing.
And Beatty hits one foul. Hits it hard, but foul. Stays in the at-bat.
The pitch came in.
There we go.
and he
No more
saw
music.
that,
Okay.
Because I knew he had a chance to go out. Like that was going to be the swing. And that's just a great call. Great fun.
It was a great moment.
And Beatty takes a 1-out walk. Good at bat by Brett Beatty. Tommy Pham coming up.
It wasn't a big moment for Big Game James. I'll tell you that.
He didn't really want to.
He didn't participate.
He didn't want to make a positive thing out of it.
I forgot to put the home run apple for Nemo there.
There's never been an older player.
Got to put the home run apple there, guys. Forgot about that.
So that in itself made it a singular moment, and the fact that pitchers are not going to be hitting anymore, at least until they put the double hook into the game. Oh, we were talking about that.
1 on, 1 out. Tommy Pham up in the 5th. 1-0 Mets.
Tommy Pham grounded on the second base his first time up.
Good eye.
Guys, I always have bittersweet moments and thoughts around that particular moment this time of year because I was there in San Diego with you guys, and I missed it. I missed the home run. I was walking the concourse.
Tommy Pham hits one right to the right fielder, Bryant. 1 out. 2 out, excuse me.
Tommy Pham flies out for the second out. Well, here's the good news for you, Steve. The good news is that if anything historic happens next week in Cincinnati, you will not be walking the concourse. You will be sitting in the booth, calling it.
Gary, if something historic happens in Cincinnati, I am in big trouble.
No, you're not. You're going to be brilliant, Steve. I think the fact that you have decided, after all these years of resisting, to finally be a play-by-play guy is a great step forward for your career and for our enjoyment of you.
You will enjoy it. Probably not for the reasons of the quality being good.
Beatty, that's a base hit. Beatty's going to go to third. He's going to try it. And he is safe at third. All right, that's a base hit by Vogelback. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Tomas Nido coming up.
You had thousands of games in the minor leagues, and I did one spring training game and said, yeah, I'm good to go.
And you will be good to go. And I'm personally looking forward to it because I'll have my feet up while you're calling the games in Cincinnati. And you'll have plenty of help because I understand not only is Keith going to be there, but they're going to put Jerry Blevins in the booth with you as well.
Oh, nice.
So you can try to figure out how to juggle.
So if you're listening to what's going on,
your first ever big league
Steve Gells, Jerry Blevins, and Keith Hernandez are going to be in the booth in Cincinnati. Very interesting. Left-hander Brent Sutter is warming up in the bullpen for the Rockies.
I did not love it. I didn't love it. So Keith gave me a few of his.
That's great. And you got to go with whatever it makes you comfortable. I tried Keith's scorecard once and it made me completely uncomfortable.
I know.
You know what Nito did a lot last year? A suicide squeeze. He did that a couple of times last year.
Keith's is a little complicated.
He did that a couple of times last year.
I just looked at it. I took some.
Todd, very good.
I think I understand about 43% of
You
this.
know what I love is that Steve's going to be completely prepared as Nito grounds goes slowly to third and McMahon throws it out. Just wait till you hear it.
And the inning is over, and then Nito swings at the first pitch, and the Mets do not score. So, top of the 6th, 1-0 Mets. 3 hits for the Mets, 1 hit for the Rockies, and now it is the top of the 6th. We played an hour and a half. We're in through 6 innings. How about not even an hour and 10 minutes? Game might be over in 2 hours. I think the other game in Detroit, I think it took an hour and the first game took an hour and 58 minutes or something like that. Games have been going quicker. again, it's not bad when you're at home and you're watching a game, but when you're at the stadium, it just feels completely quick. Like everything you do, it feels like it's rushed. Oh, want to get a drink? Want to get some food? Oh, hurry up. If it's a packed house, you're screwed. You'll be missing 2 innings, guaranteed. But unfortunately, the Mets left a couple of men on base once again and do not score. Nito decides to swing at the first pitch again. Not really expecting. Yeah, Todd, I understand what the defenses have been fine. I just think that, I don't know how much they trust Alvarez behind the plate with Senga's pitches, like with that nasty forkball. And again, Alvarez has been good blocking the ball behind the plate. But again, if Senga says he feels comfortable with Nito behind the plate, what are you going to do? Put Alvarez in there just because and then mess up Senga? I mean, it's a kind of give and take here. I'm sorry. When your 1 through 6 has the guys that you want 1 through 6, you got to score more runs. You can't count on the 8 and 9 hitters to do damage in your lineup. Most baseball teams don't. So. But it is 1-0. Mets are leading. Senga's probably going to come throughout the 6th, and let's see if he can get through 6 innings for the first time this year. I think he has 2. Senga is out there.
Senga takes a 1-0 lead into the 6th. And it'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the Rockies batting order. Bryant, Crone, and Diaz. Bryant's been up twice and walked both times. 2 of the 4 walks given up by Senga.
John, I agree with you. But again, we don't know if Senga says, listen, I want Nito behind the plate.
Set up that cutter slider, ghost pitch combination.
Struck out 4 to go with the 4 walks.
Is it, Mark? If it is, then great.
Rockies only have 1 hit. There was a 2-out single by Randall Grichuk in the 4th.
Popped it up. Should be 1 out. Got it in on Bryant for the first half.
Michelle Margot has game break brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Michelle.
Sox visiting the Phillies top of the 3rd. Kike Hernandez with the RBI single to left off of Zach Wheeler. Makes it 3-0 Boston. It is 3-2 Boston in 4th, Gary.
Guys, I'll be right back.
And he comes upstairs with the fastball, gets a swing and strike 1 and 2.
Yeah, not only for himself, but for the ball club. The last 11 games, hard pressed for the Mets starters to go deep.
21-28. What are you talking about? What logic? Ground ball could be a quick 2 outs. And it is.
McNeil throws out 2 away. Senga's in to be at his best right now. It's not likely that they'll let him go beyond 6. Not throwing more than 96 pitches in the start, but he's on 8 days rest, so you can understand why he might be able to go deep into this game.
Buck was even saying that he looks at them when they decide to take him out after 90 pitches. He's like, you don't understand that Japan has throw 125.
They threw 125 in a bullpen session. Here's Elias Diaz. It really.
But he's not. Right. He's pitching well.
The differing experiences for Japanese pitchers. They pitch less in games, but they pitch so much more on the side.
Nice pitch.
One ball to the knees, 1-1 to Diaz, who's lined out and struck out over 2. Retired 6 in a row since Grichuk's hit.
Nice
and
pitch.
Another good forkball. He's throwing the forkball into strike zone today.
He is. And even the ones that Bryant just missed, So a little adjustment. He's got a good feel for it tonight. It's a little warmer.
Last couple of starts against the Giants and the Nats, those forkballs were all starting out of the strike zone were less tempting. So ahead of the count 1-2 on Diaz. And that's punched toward first, and that hits the line of fair ball that rolls into foul territory. And Diaz
Jesus.
stop at first. As Alonso
Oh, that's kind of a lucky hit.
softly hit,
Jesus.
right on the chalk. And that's the second Colorado hit.
Well, sometimes when you have the kind of first month Diaz is having, these are the kind of things that happen for you. Everything's kind of going right. Gets jammed.
All right, Hefner's coming out to talk to him. Probably going to get one more batter.
Visit out to Senga.
Interpreter in tow, that's Hero. Night Hero. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. By Tri Honda, contact your local Honda dealer today. And by Chitties and Coca-Cola, a recipe for magic.
$21-28. I know we don't know what you mean because it was a blue pitch. It was a good pitch, and the hitter hit it barely fair. So yeah, you gotta go.
Smith, first man up in the Mets bullpen. He has just begun to loosen up.
Drew Smith warming up.
McMahon has flied to left and grounded to first. Hitless in his last 14 at bats. Senga gets the first curveball in for a strike, 0-1. Took something off.
Got to be careful with McMahon here. Got a little bit of power in him.
Yeah, it's got to feel good just to have made contact twice against Senga. He has struck out 45 times this year in his first 109 at-bats. But he's dangerous. 20 home runs last year. Bounces that forkball. It's 2-1.
You know, it's interesting to watch the league offensively as guys are trying to take a better approach with two strikes.
Scully, I think that's why it's helping him today.
That same all or nothing.
Not relying on the breaking stuff.
He has a little speed at first, and the fastball up and away. Now it's 3-1. You have to figure if he doesn't get McMahon, we'll probably see Drew Smith come in with face Randall Grichuk.
Watching him, I don't feel like he's 100% yet.
This will be the 100th pitch for Senga tonight. And it's ground foul.
That was a nice pitch.
Cutter up 3-1.
3-2.
Alonso drops back to play behind Diaz. Will be running with 3-2 and 2 out.
Yeah.
3-2 to McMahon. And a chopper.
Ground ball should end the inning. And it does. There you go. Very, very good outing. Best start of the year for Kodai Senga. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. For a team, again, the record is not good, but they won 4 in a row. They've been hitting extremely well with a lot of power in their winning streak. So very nice performance. And the 2 things I could take out of that. Number 1, very more pitch efficient. And he kept them pitches down. Didn't have a big inning, very big pitch count inning, which is nice to see. And the other thing, he started to throw that fastball a little bit more. And I think that was the key today. He threw a lot more fastballs, which look, when he throw more fastballs, there's more likelihood, especially when you throw it around the plate, of them swinging at it, right? He didn't have a lot of strikeouts today. Let me see how many strikeouts he had. Let's see. 4 strikeouts today, right? You don't always have to strike out guys. And again, that forkball is going to strike out a lot of guys, but that strikeout total is going to increase your pitch count as well. He pitched a little bit more of the contact today. And listen, when he got stuff like he does, you can see the stuff that's there. And that is something that I think they told him, you got to throw more fastballs, because clearly they're waiting back on that forkball. And when he threw him a fastball, they seemed like they were shocked that it was coming. And a nice start, best start of the year for Senga. Nice to see. again, you do want to see this every fifth day, but they're slowly building him up. Again, he threw 99 pitches, 100 pitches today in 6 innings. Again, be a little bit lower, that would be nice. But again, I want to see him do this over time. And that is something that you just have to look at. Ken, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so we're going to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Mets. Senga had a good, solid, really good 6 innings today with no runs, 2 hits. Bottom of the 6th, see if the Mets can put on some runs here, get a little bit more support.
By Nemo, the only run in this game. Rockies go to the bullpen.
Brandon Nemo leading off. Lefty on the mound for the Rockies.
Well, it's a really important part of the bullpen in Milwaukee for many seasons. You see, he's gotten off to a quick start.
And Nemo hits one in the gap. That's going to be a double. That might be a triple. Nemo is looking like he's going to be back, guys. 2 great at-bats by Nemo the last 2. And that's a tough lefty right there.
Well, this is exactly how you do
Leadoff double for the Mets in the 6th.
A double in left center. A beautiful catch in center field as he gets the Mets started again.
Well, the Mets have just their 4th in. And Suter is greeted rudely. Starling Marte.
Oh, Starling.
Against Marte.
Didn't want to hit the left side.
Marte slowly to first base was thrown out by Tovar low lane.
Well, Marte, a guy we watched last year, I'll be running a lot harder to first base than he did there. Certainly, if there's an injury, we don't know about it.
This was Lindor, who had a base hit, was thrown out trying to stretch.
All right, Lindor, been a hell of a lot better hitter right-handed today. Right-handed this year, so I like Lindor in this spot.
101 pitches, most pitches thrown by Mets starter this year.
And Lindor pops it up. Jesus Christ. 2 outs.
2 out. So after the leadoff double, Nemo was still at second with 2 down. And it's left to Pete Alonso.
Consider it's a very crafty left-hander. It's not going to get you with velocity. It's got kind of an unusual way of throwing the ball to the plate.
Even though Alonso is struggling, he's been pretty good this year with 2 outs. So let's see if he can drive in some runs here. Get number 29 RBI, or maybe 30.
Suter was let go by Milwaukee after 7 years. Rockies got him on waivers. And he's added a sinker this year to try and give him another weapon.
I think give him a weapon in Colorado as well.
Alonso's grounded out and flied out. Changeup is down, a ball and a strike.
Oh, that was the pitch to hit right there.
That interesting sequence here. Sensatella first pitch, fastball strike.
That was the pitch to hit right there. He missed it.
Another slider. So what's Sensatella going to throw? He comes inside with a fastball. Very good pitching by Sensatella to retire Alonso.
Watch that slider in the dirt.
Pitching decisions presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Sensatella went 5, allowed a run on 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a home run, first start of the season. A good one for Sensatella.
Ball right at the third shortstop. God damn it.
And he throws out a lot.
And after the leadoff double, the Mets go 1-2-3 after that. Mets, oh, of course I'm going to watch the next game. Of course. I mean, well, maybe. Because if I do go to the Met game, then that might be a situation. But Actually, I think the game's at 3:00 tomorrow, right? Oh yeah, so I'll be at the Met game if I do go. Maybe I'll do like a dual live stream. I'll put the Met game on and have the Knick game on the side with the score and all that fun stuff. Maybe I'll do that. Seems fun. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Just checking something out. Alrighty. All right, guys. So we're going to the top of the seventh. Still 1-0 Mets. Looks like Drew Smith is going to come into the game in the seventh. Mets have it lined up perfectly with their bullpen. 7th, Drew Smith. 8th, Ottavino. 9th, Robinson. But, we know Buck this year in the 8th and 9th are kind of Ken, absolutely not. With that said, will Buck, depending on where the lineup is, he's going to say, all right, I want Ottavino in the 9th, or I want Robinson in the 8th. He's done that a lot this year too. Or he's just going to do, all right, Drew Smith 7, Ottavino 8, and Robinson 9th, if the lead still holds by that time. We'll see. But only 6 hits in the ball game. Mets haven't ran away with this game, that's for sure. But, a couple of guys are still struggling. Alonso's still struggling. Marte can't get out of his own way. Lindor is struggling. The bottom of the lineup is non-existent, even though Vogelbach did get a hit. So, top of the 7 coming up. Mets lead 1-0 on a Brandon Nemo solo home run in the 4th. Here we go, guys. Drew Smith on the mound. Very good this year. 2.25 ERA in 13 games. 16 strikeouts. The walks are a little high, 7. Not terrible, not great. A little under, half a walk a game. Not terrible, but let's see if Drew Smith can have a good 7th inning here.
2 outings have been solid for Drew. Again, the lower third of the order and the top of the 7th, Randall Grichuk has one of the 2 hits for the Rockies tonight. And he takes the first pitch slider for a strike, 0-1. Grichuk, then Castro, and Tovar at the bottom of the Rockies order. Colorado looking for their 5th straight win, but down 1-0 in the 7th. And fastball up and away, ball strike to Grichuk. With Grichuk's return, the Rockies DFA'd Youngton Daza today to play most of the center field for them this season. Also got a young player who they're very high on, Brenton Doyle, who looks like a really athletic center fielder, speedy player. Richard playing center field tonight. Center field at Coors Field is a demanding spot.
Just outside.
Outside Richard 2-2. I mean, it's just so much room out there.
Prepare in the off season, you have to run cross country.
2-2 coming. The slide away 3-2. Best center fielder I think they've had was a young Juan Pierre. Really control out there. It's such a debate.
And strike 3, nice fastball. Right down the middle. 1 out.
Such a debate about how you build your club, right? You build power with the Blake Street Bombers, which is what they had early in their existence. Do you build with speed because there's so much room to cover out there?
They've had their best success as a squad, as an organization, when they've chosen the offense over the pitching and defense.
For the pitching part of it, and the most luck with single ball pitchers.
I shouldn't say that. The offense with a very good defense, because they've had some amazing defensive players from Troy Tulowitzki to DJ LeMahieu to Arenado.
Scully, I don't know, but that ball was right down the middle.
Swing of this. Ball is straight on Castro.
Hamilton.
Yeah. Carlos Gonzalez.
Drew.
Many points in his career was an outstanding defender. 1-1 to Castro. Slider skips it into 2-1. Download the MLB Ballpark app and complete your next visit to Citifield. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, and access to exclusive content, and much more. 1-0 New York, 7th inning. 1 to Harold Castro. And he gets it
Ball,
sharply
just past
the
McNeil. Nice
And into
nice
right
try by
field, a
McNeil.
one-out single.
Well, great break on it. And McNeil almost got there. Ball was just hit too hard. Wincing as he hits the grass. A little limp as he gets up and walks. Sometimes you just land right on the top of your kneecap.
That expression on Jeff's face. Remember the old Wide World of Sports intro?
Yeah.
It's Ezekiel Tovar fouls it away. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. They always show the ski jumper falling off the side of the mountain. That look was an agony of defeat look.
That was one of the greatest opens of all time. You couldn't wait for that to come on.
That poor ski jumper, week after week, he kept falling off the hill.
Quickly 0-2.
Da, 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 da.
No, that's what it takes to play every day for 6 months. A lot of those aches and pains.
In this case, play everywhere. 0-2 to Tovar.
Nice
He got
pitch.
him
2
with a
outs.
slider.
Nice slider.
Drew Smith with his second strikeout. Spectrum one high-speed hitting for tonight. Brett Beatty's ground out, by far the hardest hit ball of the night.
You know, this will be, you have to be wary of the veteran hitter in these situations. Charlie might sit on a pitch looking to drive something out of the ballpark. I've seen a lot of good sliders from Smith. He might try to sit on one.
Blackman's 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out, lined out, popped up. Castro at first, tying run with 2 out. And Blackman gets
Popped
the
it
first
up.
pitch fastball and pops
Beatty
it
gonna
up.
stay,
Beatty
gonna
should
get
have
it,
foul ground.
and it ends the inning. Nice inning by Drew Smith. Get through to 7. Bottom of the 7. Mets coming up. 1-0 Mets. Once again, guys, if you want to purchase a channel logo pin, you can do so by sending a Venmo or PayPal or Cash App, whatever you got to do. Make sure you put your email in the message so I can email you to get the information I need so I can send it to you. It's a pretty cool pin. It looks obviously like the logo that you see on the screen. Very, very nice. Very very pristine. It's got a little 3D action to it. So you get a little bit, it pops when you look at it. Pretty cool. It's got a nice little rubber back to it. So it stays on whatever you're going to pin it to. So it is a pretty cool pin. And if you haven't hit that like button yet, please do, guys. Let's try to get it up to about 60 likes today for the stream. All right, there we go. Sorry, guys, just trying to fix something really quick. There we go. Sorry about that. My mic went crazy. Not a bad way to go, says so listening to Howie Rose, right? You know, sometimes it's a different experience. So like you're in the car, you're driving, listening to, you know, Howie Rose or, you know, Keith Rad and all those guys now. You know, last year was Wayne Randazzo and the last couple of years with him. So it's always good to listen to the radio every now and then. And, you know, I was doing the radio audio for a little while before I started doing the SNY audio. All right. Jeff McNeil leading off. 1-0 Mets, bottom 7.
Worked around a leadoff double in the 6th. Starts his second inning of relief. And McNeil fouls off the first pitch fastball, 0-1. If you want to be fastball, yeah, 85. That's his fastball. Doing that for a long time. McNeil's grounded out and popped up, headless in his last 9 at bats. That doesn't happen very often. Suter crowds him with a fastball, 1-1. That's driven out to
That's a
center.
shot.
Turned around is Grichuk, but he finds it.
Right in the left field gap. 1 out.
Almost a single Mets moment with the SNY app. Scan the code and download it today. It's been on the premium tonight. The Mets have 4 hits. The Rockies
All right,
have
Brett Fatty
3.
up.
Senga, 6 scoreless innings. Antonio Senzatella gave up 1 run through 5. The Nemo home run. That's been it.
Tough matchup for Beatty here. With that quirky lefty. But he's been pretty good against lefties. David Robertson coming in the 8th. Interesting.
2, 3, and 4 in their order. Profar, Bryant, and Crone coming up in the 8th. Wait. Buck has done it most of the time with Robertson and Ottavino. Is that Robertson's gotten the tougher trio.
Yeah, that's through the middle of the order. Robinson's up first, and Ottavino up second, unless Robertson has a small pitch count in the 8th.
That's a shot to left field. That's going over his head. That is a ground rule double. All right, nice piece of hitting going the other way, taking that outside pitch to left field. He hit that ball hard. That was a good piece of hitting right there. Level swing.
There's a Nate, because he's a good slugger, is his ability to hit that ball not only to left field, but with some carry and some power.
By the way, the umpires never signaled ground rule double.
No.
Yeah, explosive. I'm the same way. Same way. I feel the same way. It just pops. Come on, Tommy. Get some insurance runs here.
Rounded out and fly down. He's got a leadoff double in the 6th, but couldn't bring Nemo around. Now they've got a 1-out double in the 7th. They're trying to do better with that. Famous business is hitting against left-handers. Takes a fastball for a strike, 1-1. Congratulations to tonight's City Community Home Runs fan of the game, Karen, who as of now has won a Mets autograph and a Mets prize pack. Don't forget to enter the sweepstakes. And if you donate to No Kid Hungry, you can receive up to 50 additional entries. Working with a very rapid pace, even by pitch clock standards. He released that pitch with 10 on the clock.
It's a hot potato for Suter. He loves getting rid of it.
Van has seen Suter play. He hasn't done much with it. Just 1 for 13 against this left-hander. And he strikes him out with a changeup. For a strikeout
Terrible
for
at that.
Suter. 2 out of
It's
the
an interesting stat they put up there. This year, when the Mets score first, they're 12-2.
And after the one off the plate, he counters with the changeup after that. Perfectly placed. Down.
All right, Vogelback coming up.
Split kind of Vulcan grip he has there on his changeup.
What they teach at Cambridge.
I'm trying to do.
Surprised Vogelback is staying in here.
Here's Vogelback facing a lefty, a rare at bat for him against the southpaw.
I mean, he ends up so far towards the first base, throwing across his body. His head's not even looking at that pitch as it disappears.
Vogelback is 1 for 2 today. Slider off the plate. Vogelback's had only 5 at
Wonder
bats
if
against lefties
Vogelback
this
gets on
year.
with Buck pinch hit Alvarez Finito here.
Would have gone to Canada for Escobar to pinch hit at this spot. Chose to stay with Vogelback, and he watches a slider out of the strike zone. It's 2-1. Nito would be next.
Well, Suter seems to be the kind of guy that kind of a reverse splits guy, right? Eats up the right-handed hitters who are the hitters he mostly faces.
And Vogelback with a late swing foul on that fastball, and it's 2-2. Vogelback has seen Suter 4 at bats, no hits. They were teammates for a while in Milwaukee. Justin Lawrence, the side-arming right-hander, right hand, the former Met, the left-hander of his bullpen. 2-2 to Vogelback.
Good eye. Full count.
Just missed outside.
Beatty will be running on the pitch.
Pretty good back for Vogelback. Good.
See where the catcher sits up outside, probably a slider.
3-2. Got him looking. Fastball right down the middle.
And the Mets do not score. Going to the top of the 8th. Mets 1. Rockies nothing. David Robertson coming in the 8th to face the middle of the order for the Rockies. So, interesting situation here that Robertson once again coming in the 8th. Again, Buck's been doing that a lot this year. And again, interesting stat SNY pulled up. If you didn't see it or hear it, the Mets this year are 12-2 when they score first. So that is basically 85% of their win total this year. When they score first, they win. 12-2 is a good record. Again, that's why it's so vital to score first. Again, it's only one run. We're not knocking the ball over the yard. The Mets are doing well getting on base, but we're having problems driving them in, and that seems to be a trend a lot this year. But we do got the lead. We do got our 2 top relievers right now in Robertson and Ottavino, who are probably going to be 8-9. And you know what? You got to count on them to do the job, right? Right, Ottavino, last time out, blew the game against the Tigers. He's been good this year, so, everybody has those outings. Robertson has been money all year this year, so see if he can continue to do that. If he gets a quick inning in the 8th, are they going to throw Robertson out there for the 9th? But you might not have him by tomorrow if you need him. So that's something that we just have to wait and see. But Mets do have a 1-0 lead in the top of the 8th. 2-3-4 for the Rockies. It is Profar, Bryant, and Crone. 2 guys that can definitely take you deep, and Profar is always dangerous. So here we go. Top of the 8th, 1-0 Mets.
Hey, it's Gary Apple and Jerry Clemens. Sportsman postgame live on the way. Big game for Brandon Nemo. And how about Kodai Senga?
Easily the best he's looked for me, especially in those last 3 innings, throwing strikes with all his pitches and his cutter with that meter.
It did indeed. We'll see you guys coming up on the postgame show. Garrett, right.
All right, gentlemen, and Ian reacts to the Knicks game 2 win against the Heat, plus all the storylines as the series heads back to Miami. The latest put back with Ian Bigley. Check it out now on SNY's YouTube page. Last we saw David Robertson, he was getting a 6-out save on Monday against the Braves. Maybe he'll be asked for 6 outs again today. Jurickson Profar leads off and takes fastball away from ball 1.
Yeah, 4 days ago with those 2 punch-outs in that appearance against Atlanta.
He's nothing short of phenomenal. Profar 0 for 2 and a walk. He takes that cutter a little high, and it's 2-0. Chris Bryant and C.J. Crone follow against Robertson. After Kodai Senga went the first 6 and Drew Smith a scoreless 7th. Curveball in for a strike, 2-1.
Well, John, they did today, 6th. I wouldn't be shocked, if you're going to put him, are they going to move Marte out of that 2-hole? That's an interesting thing to look at. Maybe put Lindor 2, Beatty 3. That would be interesting.
Diaz received his National League Reliever of the Year award. Robertson is picked up right where Diaz left off.
And a very, not very common, Robinson walks a guy, especially like that. So not a good start for Robinson in his first inning here.
Just have depth in your bullpen. But you pick the right
John, I do that.
It's a guy that coming into the year had 157 saves. He's been there, done that.
Ryan has walked twice and flying out 0 for 1. 0 for 3 in his career against Robertson. And a first pitch slider that he went around on. 0-1.
It's a big call.
That's McKay, the young first base umpire, making that call.
And the flick with the outside of the bat. I'll give him that one.
Right back to the slider. It's outside, a ball and strike. C.J. Crone on deck. The power portion of the Rockies lineup. They haven't hit a lot of home runs this year. 13th in the National League. Bryant and Crone, both threats. this stolen base this year. Puts out his lead a little bit after that first throw over. And there's another, and now another throw would mean get him or it's a balk. So this is a really crucial part of the game to be 2 disengagements in, and now Profar takes an even bigger lead. He's daring Robertson to throw over.
Did you pitch out?
Did go, and it's not back. He took several steps for it second, like he was going to go. This is that play that Buck has talked about, where if you've already thrown over twice, if you think the guy's going to go, you might as well throw over again, because either he's going to steal it or it's going to be a balk anyway. Takes an enormous lead now. A one-way lead, but he didn't go. And the pitch is high, and it's 2-2.
You know, what you're doing a lot in the game today is you're asking guys who for their whole career have shut down the running game because of the wanting to make sure they got 80%. So they've kind of shut themselves down and now been asked to rev it up again, and some can't.
This time he runs, and Brian flies one toward the right field line. Overcomes Marte. He gets there, and he makes the catch in fair territory, and Profar back to first.
1 out.
That's the first out. I don't understand why he didn't go on the 2 prior pitches. He finally ran on the 2-2 pitch and has to stay at first base. So now, just to clarify the rule, it starts again.
Yeah.
You start with 0 disengagements now that the batter's been retired. There's Crone, who's walked flat out and grounded out 0 for 2.
Uh-oh. That's... Wow. That ball stayed in. I thought that ball was gone. 2 outs.
A scary fly ball off the bat of Crone, who has line-to-line power, as Ronnie said earlier tonight. But that one died on the warning track for the second out.
That's 2 balls that he's hit in this game that he's just missed. The fly ball to center. And
Looks like he just got it in enough.
Robertson had to think
Yeah, definitely just got it in enough.
Stay in the park. Okay.
Wasn't a good pitch though, but it did.
Profar still at first. Here's Elias Diaz. And he takes a curveball outside.
I thought that ball was gone when he hit that ball. Jeez.
Soft single that hit just behind the first base bag on the line in the 6th inning.
Interesting to watch Pete.
Robinson a little off today, not throwing a lot of strikes. Very rare for him.
He's about a foot in front of the bag, trying to get in a position where he can make that tag before Profar puts his arm on the bag. Taking that throw early.
Nice pitch, curveball.
Breaking ball there by Robertson. Diaz was certainly not expecting it. That's 2-1.
One thing I like about Robinson, he can throw any pitch on any count. No, Mets, relax, buddy. Relax. I know. He hasn't pitched since Monday.
Profar starts and stops. Throw behind him by Nito.
Nito, what are you doing? Jesus Christ. Lordy Lord. No need to do that.
3 running strikes towards second, and when he slammed on the brakes, Nito figured he was pretty fine.
That was stupid.
The reaction from Nito decided to throw that off his knees, and the ball just sailed on him. So Profar induced that throw and got a bad throw.
Wow.
So now the tying run in scoring position with 2 out of 3 and 1 count to Diaz. Ryan McMahon on deck. 3-1 from Robertson.
Ball 4.
Slow ball 4. So now there are 2 men on. Second walk of the inning, and the 6th of the night issued by the Mets. Came into the night tied for the most walks allowed in the National League.
I think that was an intelligent walk there. He knows that Diaz is having a monster month.
And McMahon is not.
Yeah.
McMahon has gone 0 for 3 tonight. He's 0 for his last 15. Now we're going to get a pinch runner.
No, he says he didn't.
Doyle runs for Diaz.
That was just, there was no need for that. You know, if you want to fake the throw, fine. You know, get him a little worried about that. Maybe not take a bigger lead, but McMahon has been struggling, but still very dangerous. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 Mets. Oh, hit the runner, and the runner's out. Yay! You got Jesus. I thought it hit off for Alonso. Oh, yep. And I think Alonso would have had that. The ball was hit hard, but it looked like Alonso would have been there. But again, it hit the runner, and that is an out. Well, Jake, does that really matter? To be honest with you, I mean, that's not. It's not like, if you don't have 100 wins, you don't make the playoffs. It's just not how it goes. And I don't think you concerning yourself about win totals is funny. All right, man, you gotta go. Sorry, you're ridiculous today, buddy. Yeah, we caught a break. It's about time, no? But again, Alonso looked like he was right there. It looked like he was right behind the runner. Again, it was hit hard, so Alonso might have not made the play. But sometimes you just get a break. But I think Alonso was right there because if the fielder wasn't close enough, that is not automatically an out anymore. That's the new rule. I don't know if you guys don't know that about the ball hitting the runner. It used to be back in the day, automatically if the ball hits the runner off the bat, he's automatically out. But if there's not a fielder in sight, it is a dead ball and the batter gets a base and the runners move up. So, and it would be called a dead ball. So in this case, if Pete Alonso wasn't close to it, that's what that would be the new rule. So, but we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Mets still got a 1-0 lead. Sorry, guys. It's getting a text. Like I said, we got a break, take advantage of it, and get this W. That's what you got to do there. So, bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Mets. Mets will have up 9-1-2.
That's just not by the teams originally having.
Justin Lawrence, the sidearm right-hander, is in, and he throws.
Little shock Nito's taking this at bat here. Surprised Alvarez wouldn't come up in this spot, but
Grounded out. 0 for 2. And a little dribbler up the third baseline that'll go foul.
real deal. What's up? Let's see. Yeah, Alonso might have had that.
If it didn't hit the runner, would Pete have had a play?
He would have had a play. Coming up with a play would have been another matter. 108 off the bat. That was sizzling. And I don't think there is a more embarrassing play for a pinch runner.
Nito's out
Jesus.
on 3 pitches for the first out.
Nito getting boos, and he should. Non-competitive at-bats from Nito all year.
I mean, Justin Lawrence, we've seen him throw some dazzling.
I agree, Jay, but, you just saw that at-bat.
11 of his 13 outings have been scoreless, not giving up a lot of
Like,
hits,
it's
not
just,
walking
there's no
out
contest.
last year.
Like at this point,
Strikeouts.
just get rid of Nito and bring up Michael Perez, put him on the 40-man. Can't be worse than Nito. Nemo having a better day over the last week. 2 for 3, double solo home run.
Also made a great catch in center field. A nice bounce back for Nemo after a somewhat embarrassing.
No, of course not, Jake. If anybody believes that, they're just not smart.
Strike, but John Tumpane said no, and it's 2-0.
Come on, Brandon. 3-0.
Fastball missed, and now it's 3-0. Well, the former Rocky Martino
And ball for the Nemo, 1-out walk.
So Nemo reaches base for the third time tonight. And the Mets will seek some insurance with Marte coming up.
Nemo's running.
You think?
He's running.
Well, this is the right time to run.
And the right pitcher to run again.
So Ron Dolan's saying Nemo might look to run here, which this is a better spot to run just for anybody who,
Marte's gone over
Jake, I
three
think he's going to be
tonight.
fine. I just think he's in a slump right now. The average needs to be better, to be honest with you.
McMahon playing way back and takes a slider for
See if
strike.
Nemo gets a good jump here.
What if he was taking a pitch by feigning the bunt, allowing Nemo a chance to run?
McMahon's not buying it. He's staying fairly deep at third base. It takes a rip at a slider and comes up empty, and it's 0-2.
Just a nasty pitch from the side. This kid is on his way to being something.
Like to see Nemo take a little bit of a bigger lead there.
Man, this year that he's had in the past.
Yeah, I know, Christina.
Coming up tonight after the post game, it's on to Sports Night. Get ready for Knicks Heat Game 3. Basketball, football, baseball, and all the stuff. Coming up tonight on the Sports Night.
Come on, Starling, let's go.
SN Live. And we're with first with 1 out. Lindor waits on deck. 0-2 to Marte. And Sterling fouls him away.
Marte's just a little off. You can just tell he's just not reading the pitches well. Just a little behind, a little underneath the pitches that he's trying to hit. Good pitches that he can hit. He's just under them.
Marte has gone 15 straight games without
Marte, career 295, 300 hitter. Him batting below 250 is so rare. It's just not Marte.
Solid right now. And he takes the slider on the inside corner for strike 3 call. Backup slider from Lawrence for the second out.
Well, that's the problem. When you see that slider spin,
That's a rough pitch.
It never did.
Wasn't even supposed to throw it there.
A lot of the plate, but I'll tell you, for a hitter, that ball looks like it
Jake,
never
I would say,
goes
see,
the inside corner, but you have to go a little
new guys I'm not really favorite players with. I'm an
Lindor, who's 1
old
for 3 tonight.
player type of guy, but
Nemo went first with 2
I-
out. In the 9th, the Rockies will have the lower third of
I would say
the order coming
McNeil.
up. Grichuk, Castro, and Tovar. Keep in mind they have Mike Moustakas.
all right, 2 outs.
Veteran left-handed.
Lindor
on the
up.
bench. I could see him in the inning against Ottavino. Down at the plate. Nothing in 1 to Lindor. Hoping the Buck had it in his mind to perhaps go 2 innings with Robertson, but it wasn't a great inning for Robertson, so there would be no reason to think that way. So Ottavino was going to get the call for the save chance.
Oh, Frankie.
And that catches the inside corner. Lindor did not
I don't
think
know
so.
about that one.
Some pain with the call, has him down to the count of 2.
No.
Slider, he stopped the swing in time, 1-2. Level step the third base umpire. And he just threw somebody out of the Rockies dugout.
Oh,
Wendelstedt was getting heat from over the railing. After not calling that check swing a strike.
So,
oh, that was close.
I could, I agree with Wendelstedt. I don't think he went.
Now
And
he's
strike
out.
3. Well, Mets are going to try to hold a 1-0 lead to close out the game. Adam Ottavino coming in to close the game in the 9th. Grichuk, Castro, Tovar for the Rockies. And they were talking about that there's a pinch hitter that could possibly on the bench that could possibly bat in this spot. And it's a guy that we don't like very much, and he played for the Royals. So, and you guys might see that guy. If not, hopefully Ottavino can close it out. Again, Ottavino needs a little bit of payback from blowing that game in Detroit. But again, Ottavino has been good this year, so, and this is not the first time he has done this. Again, Buck's doing this all year. Best hit is for Robinson in the 8th, and then Ottavino gets the 9th. Jakey's been bad. Like I said, it's funny. They were just talking about it, right? 24 RBIs. He's top 5 in extra base hits, but he's batting 205. Makes no sense. Like you look at those stats, and it's like, how is that even possible the way he's been hitting? Because he hasn't at all this year. He's turning back into 2021 Lindor. The only thing that he's been good this year was his defense, right? But we're not looking. Defense is fine, great, but I mean, can you bat 250? Jesus, because your RBIs are there. It's just 4 home runs in the first 33 games. He's on pace for 20 home runs. Maybe a little bit more, but you can't bat 210. It's not helping the situation. Anybody who don't like average, well, it'd be nice to see him bat 250. That would be a little bit of help. 40 points higher would be nice. All right, top of the 9th.
His last outing, as you know, he took the loss, gave up a couple of runs against the Tigers.
Oh, JL, yeah. And JL, I do want to bring this up, and I looked at it today, and not trying to like make it a bad thing for the Braves, but you don't beat good teams. You beat the Padres this year, who are 2 games over 500. Every other good team over 500, you haven't beat. You lost every series. You've beat the bad teams, which you're supposed to do. Unfortunately, the Mets don't. Ken, we've been saying that since like day 30 last year. It's oh boy, here we go. Leadoff hit. All right. I wonder if Moustakas is going to come in. Right down the middle.
He was sitting on a fastball away. He got it. He was just going to drive it in that hole. Shooting it that way, the whole way. See how short that stroke is. We'll put that ball in play to the right side.
Oh boy.
Castro, Beatty in on the grass at third, thinking they might be bunting in this spot. Grichuk takes off, and it's dropped by Nito, and a stolen base for Grichuk.
God damn. Nito can't even be a defensive player anymore either.
This is one of the issues when you have Adam in there, is that it's extremely slow to the plate. The opposition knows that, so Grichuk stealing early in the count, dropped by Nito.
Now both corners
Exactly,
are in
JL.
with the runner at second and nobody out. And this time Castro does square bunt
Nice bunt.
perfectly down to Beatty. It's
1 out. Runner goes to third.
out, but the sacrifice successful.
Yeah, I think the runner would have been safe anyway because he had a huge jump on Ottavino, but you won't know unless Nito would have got the, at least had a chance to throw it.
And he bunted it hard enough that Beatty had to come, left third base unoccupied, which allows Grichuk to move up 90 feet.
And now Mike Moustakas will
Yep.
bat for Ezekiel Tovar.
Mike Moustakas is pitch hitting for Tovar.
Moustakas,
Infield is in.
Colorado as a free agent. Veteran presence on this relatively young team.
This is actually a good spot.
The infield in with the time run at
All right, so Moustakas got a pitch clock violation. It's going to start with 1 strike. Or is it a timeout? Not sure. No idea. I don't know what happened. Umpire said something.
Moustakas takes a fastball up and away for ball 1.
All right, not a pitch clock violation. Not sure what happened.
Hitting 245. 1 for 4 as pitch hitter.
That's what we're talking about with the opposing base stealers. Ottavino's in this pickle.
This is high with a cutter, and it's 2-0 to Mustakas. Charlie Blackman, another left-hand hitter, waiting on deck. Have a lefty in the bullpen right now. Brooks Raley on the injured list. Zach Muckenhurst was here for a couple of days, then set back down. 2-0 coming, and a good swing, and he fouls back.
Don't throw that pitch again.
Mustakas sat on that fastball and got the head out.
Come on, Otto.
Two and one to Mustakas. And he swings and
Nice
misses
pitch.
at the changeup from Ottavino, and it's 2-2.
Good counter by Ottavino right on that fastball in the prior pitch. So pull the string on the next pitch. Smart pitcher.
So a spot where Ottavino, who really is a strikeout, he spent 13 batters on 11 innings this year. 2-2 to Mustakas. Inside, he almost hit him. 3-2.
Yeah.
It's one of those pitches you can't believe that it didn't hit him. I mean, it just disappeared. I think you have to go back to the changeup again.
Coming.
Yeah, nice pitch. Big strikeout there, 2 outs.
And he strikes out Mustakas, 2 men down in the ninth.
They said that was a changeup. That was a 95 miles an hour changeup.
Along there, he just placed
Oh,
a
95 miles an hour two-seamer. Okay. That ball dipped just late. Moved a little bit. Nice pitch. Challenged him. Why not? All right, Charlie Blackman here. Not going to be an easy out here. Come on, Otto. Let's go. Yeah, put it in the books. That was not an easy win. Jesus Christ. Mets win 1-0 on a line drive by Blackman. Marte makes the final out, and the Mets win the ball game. Mets back to 1 game over 500. 1-0. 2-hour and 10-minute game. And the Mets are back in the win column. 1-0. Brandon Nemo home run. Game-winning hit. Game-winning run. Wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. Listen, we need – look, we got to break with get the ball hitting the runner. And Marte was positioned perfectly with that line drive. We'll take it. And again, JL just said it. If the Braves don't come back, the Mets get a game in the standings. And I know it's early, but as bad as the Mets played, being only 5 back in 33 games, it's not a bad thing. So once again, guys, Mets win 1-0. Dominating performance. I'm lying. I'm sorry. Just had to say it. But Kodai Senga, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. And that was nice to see from Senga with 101 pitches. Robertson, little scary. Got a break with hitting a runner. Great. Perfect. 8th inning. 9th inning, Ottavino a little wild. Little off there. But we got the job done. Marte, luckily he didn't get that ball stuck in the lights because that was scary. But tomorrow, Mets play at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get the stream right. Let's see. Tomorrow. Yes, Mets play at 4:10 tomorrow. And I will be doing a stream tomorrow, 4:10. So Mets Rockies game 2, stream tomorrow, 3:50 pregame. So make sure you be there. And let's get win number 2 of the series. With that said, Mets 1, Rockies 0. Everybody have a great night. Let's go Mets. See you tomorrow afternoon, guys. Mets Rockies game 2. Have a good night, guys. Let's go Mets.